As for where I studied, then walillahi alhamd, and all praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that I have been upon Salafiyya, or what we understood to be Salafiyya, that I have been upon Salafiyya, or what we understood to be Salafiyya, that I have been upon Salafiyya, or what we understood to be Salafiyya, since the late 1980s. Since the late 1980s. I was introduced to Salafiyya in around about 1988. My first, in those days, of course, this was, pre-computer, pre-mobile phones, pre-all of that type of era. So in that era, our contact with the Mashaykh and Ahlul Ilm was, scattered.
Question is, they said, Ahsan Allahu ilaykum. What is the meaning of ta'alum, like somebody, like fake knowledge or not really having knowledge? What is it called? Falsely educated. There you are. And who are the people who are falsely educated? المتعلمون أيوة ما معنى التعالم ومن المتعالمون بارك الله فيكم.
نعم، التعالم هو من أعظم صوارف عن أخذ العلم من أهل العلم، ويصبح هذا المتعالم يأخذ العلم من الكتب مباشرة دون الرجوع إلى أهل العلم، أو أنه يتتبع أقوال العلماء زعما منه أنه يجد خطأ على أحدهم حتى يشهر به وينشره، أو أنه يتصدى للتدريس والتعليم ولم يدرس ولم يتعلم على أهل العلم ويأخذ عنهم. والمتعالم له صفات كثيرة، ولم يتعلم ولم يتفقه ويشتغل بما هو أنفع له، وغير ذلك من الصفات التي تحتاج إلى محاضرة لبيان هذه الصفات الذميمة التي ينبغي أن يتجنبها طالب العلم، وأن يحرص كل الحرص على اتهام نفسه بالتقصير والتفريط، وأن لا يعجب بنفسه، وأن لا يزكي نفسه. قال تعالى: ولا تزكوا أنفسكم هو أعلم بمن اتقى. وقال تعالى: وما أبرئ نفسي إن النفس لأمارة بالسوء. فهذا الذي يزكي نفسه ويعجب بها مسكين قد حرم نفسه الخير ووقع فيما يصرفه عن الحق وعن مرضاة الله تبارك وتعالى ويوقعه في المهلكة والعياذ بالله. نعم.
The Shaykh says this issue of a person having false education or fake education, this particular individuals that have these individuals are the majority of those who turn the people away from the scholars. They turn the people away from the scholars. And they are also individuals who are known for taking their knowledge directly from books and not from his people. From their attributes, they are individuals who follow up behind the statements of the ulama, the scholars of Islam, looking for their errors, in order that they may spread those errors and let them be known to the people, as again as a means to keep the people away from the ulama and getting them to follow them. These are people who did not learn from the scholars of Islam. And you find those who have been tested with these type of people are people from the past and the present. These particular individuals, they see their understanding to be above everyone else's, even the scholars. Of their attributes, they busy themselves with refuting and talking about their brothers, who would be, as they say, their contemporaries, and what they're doing. They will refute them. He says these are also individuals, they busy themselves with talking about their errors, searching behind what wrongs they have so they can spread it to the people for the purpose of calling them to themselves. For these characteristics, blameworthy, repugnant, ugly characteristics are many for this type of individual who's falsely educated. These are just some of them. This is an issue, the Shaykh says, requires a lesson in itself to clarify the reality of the muta'alimun, the falsely educated people, or the fakely educated, or those who's faking education. I think we translate it like that. Those who's faking education. And then the Shaykh, he says, we must strive hard that the student of knowledge, the one who teaches the people, he must strive hard not to praise himself and not to be amazed with himself. But these individuals, this is what they do through these mediums that we have mentioned. And then he mentioned a few verses where Allah Ta'ala says, and do not praise yourself. Allah is more knowledgeable of those who are most purified. And Allah Ta'ala mentioned, he says, do not free yourself do not praise yourself or free yourself of fault. For indeed the soul is built upon commanding itself with evil, except for whom my Lord show mercy upon. For these affairs is what we should turn away from. That the one who calls and teaches the people should wage war against praising himself and talking about his own characteristics. And like this, the Shaykh said, Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.